In the 2023 NBA Draft, everyone talks about the 7'4" Victor Wembanyama and how much of a physical anomaly he actually is. However, another player of supernatural build is Scoot Henderson, a 6'2" guard with a 6'9" wingspan who looks like he's in his physical prime at just 19. He has out-of-this-world athleticism, great ability to finish above the rim, and has great basketball IQ, all of which not only make him the best point guard prospect, but also make him a potential NBA superstar. In this video, we'll look into what makes Scoot Henderson such a special player, address the one thing that he needs to work on, and also list probable teams that could be ideal fits for him. But before we begin, be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for even more content like this. At Kell High School in Marietta, Georgia, Scoot completely dominated while establishing himself as a 5-star prospect and the #1 point guard heading into his senior year. In actuality, he pretty much had everything that would make him thrive in the modern NBA. He was a blur in the half-court and in transition, which made him extremely difficult to tame. He had a crafty handle combined with great footwork, he had a mean pull-up jumper and playmaking ability, and if you were a defender, it was a business decision to get out of the way if Scoot got into the paint. He has a very quick first step to easily blow by defenders. He is very creative with his finishing ability while being able to finish well with both hands, and he detonates at the rim with so much ferocity and somehow so much ease that he never even breaks a sweat. What's also insane about Scoot is that, coupled with his speed and explosiveness, are really broad shoulders and a 6'9" wingspan for a 6'2" guard. Keep in mind, if we compare this to other athletic freak point guards in the league like De'Aaron Fox, Russell Westbrook, and Ja Morant, Scoot's wingspan is actually the largest of that group. After making the high school scene his playground in his junior season, the obvious thing that you'd expect Scoot to do would be to go through with the senior season, go to a high-power college program, or forego college and elect to go to G League Ignite. However, Scoot did the unprecedented. At just 17 years of age, he pledged that he would reclassify and play for G League Ignite, making him the youngest player ever to play in the G League. This is obviously an insane move from his part, because playing out your high school career and then going to college or the G League was practically everyone's pathway in the one-and-done era. Also, with him foregoing his senior season, that meant that he'd have to spend 2 seasons with G League Ignite in order to be draft eligible, compared to the 1 year that Jalen Green and other high lottery prospects of the past spent before they entered the league. However, despite being only 17 to 18 years of age and playing against grown men, Scoot showed that he belonged in the 2022 season. He averaged 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals, while being second on the team in assists and steals, had a 30-point game, and had 4 games of 20 points and 2 double-doubles. Again, these are very impressive marks from what should have been a senior in high school. The athleticism that he was lauded for out of high school was on full display, again, playing well with and without the ball in transition, as not only as a scorer but as a playmaker, using his 6'9" wingspan coupled with his high ball skills to get steals, and using his quick change in speed and direction to throw off defenders and thereby creating easier opportunities for himself. The one thing that Scoot did struggle with was his outside shot, which is practically the norm for hyper-athletic guards at high school and college. But what's encouraging is that he shot 49% on pull-up mid-range attempts that season, which is another weapon in his arsenal. In the 2022-2023 season, Scoot statistically improved upon that previous season, averaging 17 points, 7 assists, 4.5 rebounds and a steal a game through 19 games. His advanced skill off the dribble, incredible play above the rim, and insane physical profile as an 18-19-year-old were further on display this season. And let's not forget that legendary duel he had with Victor Wembanyama at the start of it all, and he essentially sealed himself as the second best prospect in his draft after Victor this season. Scoot has that it factor, and it's plays like this that constantly remind you that we have a generational prospect on our hands. He's a hard worker, his teammates and coaches have already glowed about how great he is as a person beyond just the game of basketball, and he can be an elite point guard in this league provided that he stays healthy and makes strides in further developing his outside shot. However, Scoot's success in the league will also be determined by which situation he ends up in the NBA draft. Through the NBA draft lottery, we learned that Victor Wembanyama will indeed be going first to the San Antonio Spurs, and that the Hornets and Blazers will have the second and third picks in the draft. And if I'm being quite honest, I don't hate the fit with LaMelo Ball, and I think that he'd be a great successor to Dame in Portland. First, with the Charlotte Hornets, they have a ton to figure out moving forward with their roster, and the loss of Miles Bridges due to matters off the court couldn't have come at a worse time. Kelly Oubre will be an unrestricted free agent that even wasn't all that effective as a volume scorer on this team. The same sentiment still applies for Terry Rozier, who's making a boatload of money next season. James Bouknight has been disappointing, and Gordon Hayward and LaMelo can't seem to stay healthy. Even with that being said though, the Hornets have to just take the best player available in this case, and I think LaMelo and Scoot can work in the backcourt. LaMelo has demonstrated his ability to operate off the ball since even his rookie season in Charlotte. Both he and Scoot are good playmakers that can provide rim pressure, and I think LaMelo's ability to stretch the floor could make this pairing good right off the gate. And though none of them scream perennial all-defensive first team, Scoot's 6'9 wingspan and LaMelo's 6'6 frame as a point guard means that they won't heavily be undersized or abused in the backcourt. The next destination, which I love a heck of a lot more, is Portland, with the third pick suggesting that they could finally move off of Dame. Point guards like Scoot don't grow on trees, and I think it would be a terrible mistake for the Blazers to trade this pick to upgrade a squad that probably isn't even going to raise the Larry O'Brien trophy with that trade. If I were the Blazers, I'd finally trade Dame to a situation where he can win while getting a tremendous package to build around Scoot Henderson. You'd have a boatload of picks, potentially one or more young studs you're exceptionally fond of to pair with Scoot from that deal, and you'd have a clear sense of direction for the franchise. And Fernie Simons and Shaedon Sharpe are also very young pieces that can grow with Scoot, and realistically speaking, even though this team wouldn't compete for a title next year, the roster in question is actually really good. At the end of the day, I think Scoot Henderson is a franchise transformer for any team that drafts him or trades for him, and I can't wait for him to finally take over the NBA. With that being said, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about Scoot Henderson. Do you think he's the best prospect in this class overall, even over Victor Wembanyama? Also, what are your expectations for him in the pros? Do you think he'll develop into the likes of Ja Morant, Derrick Rose, and Russell Westbrook and be an MVP caliber player? Or do you just think he's going to be a middle-of-the-road point guard in the NBA? Additionally, let me know which situation you think works best for him to reach his full potential. Be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for more content like this. Hope to see you all in the next one, and stay tuned.